Hey, so this video is related to how is the past holding you back, okay? And so this is going to be a reading that's very direct. You know, you might hear some things that aren't comfortable to you, but at the same time, these are things that you need to hear, okay? And so I do want to mention that at the time I'm doing this video, it is Mercury in retrograde. And a lot of people are like, but is Mercury in retrograde really something to be worried about? Here's my thing. It really depends on your chart. It depends on where Mercury is in your chart. I am being hit this time by Mercury in retrograde, so I'm doing a lot of just candle work, just to kind of preserve my energy, protect myself, because I'm seeing some challenges with this Mercury in retrograde. All right, so it depends on your placements. Again, in my chart, I do not have Mercury in Pisces. However, my Mercury is in the 12th house, which is ruled by Neptune, which rules Pisces. So that's my theory on why it's affecting me this time around. All right. Okay, so I'm going to pull a few cards. I'm also going to pull some astrology cards. They're reading the energy of how is the past holding you back. I'm going to do a couple of readings. All right. And below, I will put some scenarios below. Whichever one you feel is the most relevant to you. Okay. All right. The moon. All right, so we have the moon. So a lot of you might have been really ignoring things that you really need to do in order to better your life. And so we have things coming back from the past. It's like you kind of knowing what is best for yourself, but at the same time, not really going for it, right? You prefer to stay in the dark. It's safer there. It's safer than actually going for what you want. However, we have also the Ace of Cups. And so for some of you, there is something on the horizon where you are starting to open yourself up more. You are moving forward with the things that you actually appreciate. You're thinking of ways to have more self-love, how to give more love, how to be more available to others, and how to really live your life in the way that you feel is the best, use of your time and your energy. You also have the Seven of Wands, courage, lack of courage. Okay, so it's in reverse. So for some people, you're afraid to step out on your own. You're afraid to do something. And because you're afraid to do something, it's kind of what's holding you back and stopping you from being where you want to be. When we think about the past, a lot of times we think that our past is where we actually, made a mistake. But at the same time, we're also making a mistake daily. When you think about daily, what could you be doing every day to improve your life, to make yourself better, to make yourself feel more, worthy, to make yourself feel more accomplished? What can you be doing? So right now I'm pulling an astrology card to get an idea for the energy of what's happening around you. All right. Venus and Sagittarius. Okay. So for some of you, what's holding you back is this fear that you have. You're not opening yourself up. You're afraid of expanding yourself. When we see Venus, we think of love, right? It's the planet of love. We also have the Ace of Cups, which deals with love. And so I do think there's energy here. And then when I'm doing tarot and I'm doing these readings, especially a general reading, which is harder to do because you're not doing it for a specific person. I prefer readings for individuals. I think it is way more in depth, but I do general readings as well because I do feel that you can get a sense of energy that a lot of people are feeling right now. And so we definitely have some patterns here. You need to open yourself up more. Sagittarius, we're thinking about travel. We're thinking of being open-minded. We're thinking of not having those boundaries and that limitation that we might normally have in our lives. And so we have here just the energy around it. It's like what's been holding you back a lot is just your fear. You're not lost. You know what you should be doing. You know what it is that will make you feel the most fulfilled. And for some of you, you're actually coming out of that show. But this Seven of Wands in reverse, there's still some fears that some of you have that's holding you back from actually actualizing your dreams and being where you want to be. But at the same time, you have this energy here, this Venus in Sagittarius, which is showing like, for some of you, it might be opening yourself up to other people who have what you want, other people who are able to show you a different perspective, show you the world, show you different avenues for doing things, show you how to live your life in a way where you are able to experience more things. Remember, Sagittarius, we're thinking about wisdom and we're thinking about, broadening our horizons. We're thinking of being more abroad, right? And so for some of you, you might be about to leave that in the past, but this is something that you have to overcome, this idea here of not really going forward with your intuition, not using, your past. And it's like a lot of you, you're not even like, you're not learning from your mistakes. It's like some of you want to stay in the dark, and sometimes it's really comfortable to be in a situation, even if it's bad, because we know it. But for some of you, gotta let that go. All right. So we're doing a second shuffle. These other readings, I might use a different deck just to get a different situation going on here. Okay. And so when I shuffle, I give myself a number, a random number. So this one, I might say 5, right? And so I will attempt to shuffle it 5 more times. Okay. When I shuffle, I do not shuffle the same way all the time. Sometimes I do this. You can cut the deck, okay, which I count as a shuffle. You can kind of just shuffle like this, and then just kind of put one stack on top of the other. All right. Queen of Wands. Okay, inspiration. What's stopping you in the past is maybe unfulfilled things you haven't actually gone forward. You have ideas, you have things you want to do, you stop, and then you just can't finish. Queen of Wands, you know, she's very enterprising, and she knows how to get things done. But at the same time, too much fire, you don't have earth, which is going to make your ideas sustainable and make your ideas practical. And so you could be on top if you wanted to, but it's a lot of fiery energy where you're not always able to pin down what it is that you want to do. And you feel really scattered. Some of you feel scattered. You feel like you don't know which way to actually go. You have all these passions, you have all these interests, you have all these things you want to do, but the timing is off, or you feel limited in some way. But then you have the 6 of Wands in reverse. What did I just say? So it's interesting here that it's like you have all these ideas and things you want to do. You're limited. What's holding you back in the past is just you had a lot on your plate, and you might be trying to accomplish a lot, but your energy is not focused. And what's interesting, this card just came up, the 6 of Wands. And so we see the 6 of Wands, victory, but it's in reverse. And so what that means is like you haven't seen the win that you want yet, which is probably why you're not able to go in the direction you want to go in. You're waiting for like a sign. You're waiting to feel accomplished. You're waiting for something to come your way in order to make you feel more inspired to do something. We also have the Temperance card here. Patience. Okay, perfect. But it's in reverse. You don't have patience. It's so interesting. Like, I totally relate to this situation right here. But you don't really have a lot of patience with certain things. And maybe that's why you're not feeling that you're on the right track to certain things. You want things now. You want things when you want them. And we have this in reverse, which means like your energy is not concentrated in what you want to accomplish. You know, regardless, remember, this is a general reading. And when I get wands, I'm getting ideas, I'm getting action, I'm getting things you're doing. I'm not necessarily getting this one particularly as a relationship type of situation. I think this is someone's goals. But it's like you're impatient with all this energy that you're trying to use here. And you feel like you're not successful at it. So you kind of stop, or you stop short because you're not really being patient. So let me pull an astrology card just to get another. So I'm actually going to loop this other card back in from the other reading. And use all the cards. All right. Okay, so yeah, you got a lot of, I think the Queen of Wands, she's inspirational. She has a lot of great ideas, and she's able to motivate others as well. But it's like because you have so much you want to do, you're not staying committed to one thing. And because of that, you feel lost. You feel stuck. And then you give up because you don't see the success that you want. Not realizing if you had been more stable in the first place and more consistent, you might see the growth that you want to see. Okay, let's see what card we have here. Mercury in Taurus. Okay, this is interesting because exactly, resistance. Mercury in Taurus. Okay, you have to think about this energy, Mercury in Taurus. When you see Mercury in Taurus, this basically is someone who is very stuck in their mindset, their ways. They know what it is they want to do. And what did I just say as soon as this reading started? You need earth. All this fire, and fire is great because it can spread, but it lacks, you have to tame it. And what can tame that? Water, right? Think about your water signs and how they can subdue things and how they can make things flow. When you think about earth signs, it's how is it sustainable? How is it going to live and stay true? And so Mercury, I just said you're spreading your energy too much. What is it that you truly want to do? You could do 50 million things, but you could also maybe do 3 things really well instead of 50 million things. And your energy is spread out and you end up being not impactful at all when you could have been really, really great at 3 things. And so this energy here is basically telling you folks who this is resonating with, you need to really figure out how you're going to improve your mindset. How are you going to make it so like your mind doesn't change as easily? You know exactly what you want to commit to, right? If you ever met a person with Mercury and Taurus, they don't waver. They don't change that much, their mind. They'll listen to you, but they're not going to necessarily change the core of their being or their direction because they trust their own mindset. They don't really feel the need to kind of move with the flow, right? They don't feel the need to change up. And so this is the advice for people that this is resonating with. All right. So I'm now going to do the third set. Okay. So when I reshuffle, I'm putting the same cards back in the deck. Some people might need to hear the same message. All right. And so, again, what I tell people, the cards are not magic. You are the magic. And what I mean by that is that working on your intuition, working on your spirituality, your sense of self is what's going to help you if you're a reader of tarot, or if you're simply a person who's just practicing your intuition. Like, it's not the cards that are magic, it's you. And the more you work on yourself, the better you'll get at understanding more how things that you cannot see directly fit into the spiritual realm, okay? All right, so again, I'm going to cut this and then do 3. And we have our new set. Okay. Illusion. What's holding you back? Not being realistic. You might still be believing in something that's really might not happen, something that might not come in the way that you want it to come. All right. And so we think of 7 of, this is very Neptunian. It's a very Pisces card. Illusions, the dream world, things that can be manipulated, things that can be perceived in a different way, right? And so when you look at this card here, it's like what's holding you back is just this inability to let go of something. That is not realistic. You might even know it deep down, but you refuse to let go of something, an idea, a goal, something that you haven't really thought it all the way through. Now we have 3 of Cups in reverse. So we have, again, this is something emotional. This is something like you're refusing to let go of. This is some type of emotional connection. We have the 3 of Cups in reverse. And so we're just thinking about like the opposite of celebration, the opposite. It's almost like some of you might be holding on to people or situations that no longer mean you any good. And the reason I say that is because we have the 3 of Cups, which usually is a positive card for celebration, but it's in reverse. Okay. So on your end, it's in reverse because, some of you need to let go of a person or a situation that's not causing you any good. It's an emotional situation though, but it's not as harmonious as you think it is. 10 of Wands in reverse. Okay. Well, you're afraid to do the hard work. There's something that there might be, whatever you're afraid to let go, you have some type of tie to it. You have some type of bond to it. You have some type of obligation and you're afraid to let it go. We see 10 of Wands, we're thinking of working very hard. We're thinking of using all of our resources. We're thinking of even, sometimes overworking ourselves, being overburdened. And so in reverse, it means like, you don't even know what to do. It's like when somebody's in a situation, it's a difficult situation, but you don't even know how to get out of it because that's all you know, even if it's not good for you anymore. So I'm going to pull an astrology card to get some more information about this energy going on here. Okay. Jupiter in Virgo. Okay. So Jupiter used to be the ruler of Pisces, okay? And I said before that you had some Pisces energy in this reading, right? And so Pisces energy, though creative and very artistic and very compassionate and open, at the same time, there's the Neptune influence of Pisces, which is illusion, deception, dreams, fantasy, not seeing things for what they really are. And so we have Jupiter, which Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, but Jupiter used to be was the original ruler of the traditional ruler of Pisces. But when you think of Jupiter energy, it's kind of risque, right? Jupiter does not follow direction. It does not necessarily follow a specific flow. But then we have in the sign of Virgo, and Virgo does follow a very specific flow. Virgo is very analytical and process oriented. And so when you have Jupiter in Virgo, it is telling you that, okay, all these things that you want and how you're kind of just letting things flow the way that, you know, you don't really have structure to something. You don't really have boundaries. Some of you, again, I think for some people, this is relating to a situation. This is definitely people related because I'm getting cups and you're doing a lot of heavy lifting. But at the same time, I feel like here we have Jupiter and Virgo. Don't let go of that vibe, that happy-go-lucky Jupiter vibe of, I just want to see what happens. I want to just make sure, you know, I am open-minded and I am on a journey and I'm expanding. Because remember, Jupiter's about expansion. But Virgo's also about being detail-oriented with it. Okay? And since you've been in this dream world for so long, it's not saying that you need to become someone different, but it is showing like you need to scrutinize things a little bit more. You need to scrutinize that situation a little bit more. Be more specific. Be more intentional with what you're doing. Stop letting, you know, it's almost like some of you are letting emotion. Like I said, I think for some people, this is definitely some type of romantic situation for some people. Again, you can still resonate with this even if you are not in a relationship type of situation. But for some people, it's almost like you're letting other people run the show or the other person in your situation run the show. And you're not really thinking enough about what it is you personally need to do. Okay, you're not being specific enough. You're not looking at it. You need to be grounded. And so what reminds you to be grounded is this Virgo energy, which is an earth sign. All right, so now I'm going to do this next one. All right, so I think this is number 4. I'm almost done. These individual readings, okay? Again, this is a general reading. You know, a lot of times people get upset and they're like, this does not resonate. Listen, when I do readings for general readings, it's based off the current energy of the time. It is based on all that type of stuff. And so what it's going to resonate with some people and some people it won't. In that case, you can just go to another reader or get a specific reading. Like, I just think that, you know, if you're in need of something more, you should, you know, definitely try to get what is it you feel that you need. But, you know, general readings are going to resonate. My readings, typically, they always resonate with someone, you know, and that's who it's for. It's for who it's meant to be for. You know, it's for who the message is for. And I don't mind being the messenger if I have to be. All right. Let's do 7. Okay, so meaning like I'm going to shuffle 7 times. All right. Justice. What's holding you back? You feel like people might be, you know, constantly doing you wrong. You feel like you are not necessarily given a fair chance. You feel like life might be unfair to you. You feel like every time you think that you are getting ahead, you actually end up even farther behind than where you were before. We also have the Chariot card. Okay. However, we have direction. I feel like even though you're feeling that way, you're not a person who has no sense of direction. You know what it is you want to accomplish. And I think that is what is making you feel so upset about this need for justice, is that you have a clear understanding of what you want, but you're simply not there yet, right? Or you feel like there's barriers to that, or people are being unfair to you, or there's some type of situation that's unfair. We have the World card in reverse, though. Okay, so for you, it's in reverse. And what does this mean? So the World card is when you have accomplished a lot of life lessons. When you see the World card, typically this means that you are on the path to enlightenment. You have gone through all the necessary phases. This is the last card of the major arcana. So you've gone through all those other phases in order to come out on top and be considered worldly, to have, you know, reached a certain plateau. And so this in reverse is just showing like you feel very frustrated. Like you've done a lot. You have direction. You know where you're trying to go, but you feel like situations just keep being unfair to you. And because of that, it's hard for you to move on. And so a lot of times you're stuck in this past where you feel like you're constantly being mistreated. You're constantly being a victim. You feel like you're not where you want to be yet, maybe because of other people, or you feel like, you know, what it is that you're truly seeking, it's not given to you because of other people, or it's unfair. So I'm going to pull an astrology card to get some more insight to the situation. Saturn in Leo. Okay. All right. So we have Saturn in Leo. And let's be perfectly honest. Leo is not necessarily super comfortable in Saturn. Okay, these are not the same type of energy. Okay, so what you have to remember is, Saturn is like the father, right? Saturn is the disciplinarian. Saturn teaches you harsh lessons. Saturn and Leo was in detriment in Saturn. It does not naturally want to be there. It would rather be somewhere else, because Leo is about shining, and it's about generosity, and it's about, being very, loving, and it's about being vocal, and it's about receiving attention. And Leo is also about popularity. Leo is about socialization. Leo is about shining, making things look good, creativity. Saturn is just about getting the job done. And so when you have Saturn and Leo, you are going to have to make a decision. So when you see a sign that's typically in detriment in a specific card like this, with all these situations, so again, you feel unfair, right? You feel like things are not happening and that makes perfect sense, because Saturn is not fair. Saturn teaches you the lessons that you need to learn, but we're not going to say Father Saturn is fair. Now, what he will do is make sure that you learn the lesson necessary to be successful, because if you can beat Saturn, if you can overcome Saturn's lessons, you will usually be very successful in the long run, if you can, tough it out. Okay. And so when we're saying Saturn and Leo, we have to also understand this need to control our need to feel validated. We have to control our way of thinking when it comes to what we think we deserve. Okay. And so you're going to need to make sure that you're not necessarily focused only on yourself and focus only on shining. Right. And so you got to combine both these elements of Saturn and Leo, meaning you have to think through how you're going to show others that you are in control in a way that isn't trying to dominate over people, right? And so that's why I said, when you see this type of card, this energy, you're upset. And in the way that it's coming off to other people might not be working in your favor, all right? And because we have this world card, you feel like people aren't being fair to you. You feel like you're not where you want to be. But we have Saturn and Leo. Balance those egos, balance that energy, all right? And, I think when a lot of people see Saturn and Leo, immediately they're like, this can't work together. It can work together. It can work together. You can be very demanding, right? And so I think for you people who are going through this situation, you might think everyone's being unfair to you, but think about yourself. Are you demanding too much attention? Are you demanding too much affection? Are you expecting too much from people that you're not necessarily willing to always give back? All right. Okay. So we're going to do one last one. Okay. So shuffling again. So again, this reading is about what is holding you back, what in your past is holding you back. And again, when I do these readings, you gotta be willing to hear the truth. Again, this is a general reading. Everything may not resonate, but sometimes people want to hear just what they want to hear. And that's not the purpose of tarot. That's not the purpose of astrology. It's not about your ego. It's about learning more about yourself and overcoming your challenges. All right. So I'm going to do 5. Okay. Shuffle that 5 times. All right. 8 of Pentacles in reverse. What's holding you back? You feel like you keep building and building and building, and you're just wondering what's next. So I think for some people, you've been working on something in particular for a long time, whether it's your job, your trade, your relationship, but whatever it is, I think it's more so around like something that you're trying to gain or build or accumulate. So I think this is more so a financial situation or just something regarding resources. You've been building and building, but this is a question in your mind. Like you're a question of like, what next? What do I do? I still feel like I'm doing, but I'm not sure where it's actually heading. And we have the Magician. So you feel a lack of control in your life in some way, or you might feel like someone else is controlling the show, but there's a lack of control that you feel. There's a lack of direction you might also feel, but again, the Magician is able to liven things up. The Magician is able to make things appear, very fun or appear very intriguing or appear very interesting. And so in reverse, it's like you're kind of stuck. You're at a standstill. You might not even know what direction you want to go. And you might be one of the type of people who's like, listen, I don't know what job I want. I don't know what career I want. I don't know where I want to be in 5 years. I don't know. But the Magician is like, you feel lack of control. All right. The Nine of Pentacles. So this is why I sometimes like these general readings. When I see patterns come up, such as the same suit or matched energy, this tells me that I'm on the right track for some of you. Okay. So this is the Nine of Pentacles For you, it's in reverse. You have a lot of reversals. And Pentacles has to do with goals. So for some of you, you're stuck in the same situation over and over again. Nine of Pentacles, in reverse, it means you feel like you have a lack of something. You feel like you're working hard and you still feel like there's something that you haven't gotten yet. And for some of you, this is a material thing. It could be, it's a house, it's a vehicle, it's money, it's something tangible that you're like, I'm working, I'm trying to get this, and I have not gotten this yet. Because Nine of Pentacles means abundance, but you have it in reverse. You feel like I don't have what I want yet. Let's do an astrology card reading. Pull an astrology card, get some further insight. Yeah, you're not happy. You're working. You just don't see the results of it. You feel very disappointed. You might be, probably this could be a situation you've been stuck in for a while. You've been stuck in this rut for a while. Pentacles typically can indicate years. So this is not just a temporary situation that some of you are upset about. It is something. And one thing about these general readings, like I resonate with some of these too. So I know that I'm not, and this is, they also speak to situations I know personally that other people are going through. So Sun in Pisces. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. So, you know, at the time I'm doing this reading, we actually are the Sun in Pisces. All right. And so it's interesting because one of the readings I did said too much Pisces energy, too much water energy, you need to be more grounded. Whereas this is saying a lot of earth energy, you need more water energy, okay? And so when we think of water signs, of Pisces, we're thinking about our emotions flowing, what we truly want flowing. Pisces is uninhibited, okay? Pisces might come across sometimes as reserved, but that's because they're so comfortable within themselves and they're not always comfortable showing who they are to people necessarily. Pisces is like Virgo. They're more comfortable showing people their work or their creations, right? Virgo might not tell you a lot about themselves, but they'll share a lot about what they do. Pisces might not tell you a lot about them, but they'll share what they create or what they believe or think, right? Do you see what I'm saying? So, you know, with this energy here, it's saying like, okay, you have all this, you're trying so hard to plant these seeds, but is this actually the vision that you want? And so what could be happening is you're not passionate about what you're doing. You know, you have this goal, but at the same time, you might not have really thought about how this goal is going to be actualized, how you are actually tapping into what you really, really want. Do you want what this is, or you just want it because other people have it? Okay. Do you want like everybody wants stability, but it's like, is this truly your dream? Is this truly what you want? Is there another way you could go about this? Pisces is uninhibited, meaning they don't care what other people have to say about how they're getting things done. They don't care about it looking like the status quo. So for some of you, you might have to go in a direction that's outside the box. You're doing the same thing over and over again, but it's not accomplishing anything in the direction that you want it to. So you really need to think outside of the box and think creatively. Especially if you're watching this video around this Pisces time. Yes, we're in Mercury and retrograde in Pisces. That's a whole nother issue, but the sun is in Pisces. And so capitalize off that energy and really think to yourself, how am I going to, and remember, you're sharing this with the collective though. So it might be like you're able to actually accomplish this through how you connect with other people authentically. You know, a lot of you might be trying to do a lot of things on your own. You're not reaching out to other people. You're not seeing how your impact on other people can be felt. All right. So thank you for watching this video. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Thank you for watching.